How low can you go? Can you go down low? How low can you go, Indiana Fever? Jeez, you guys have just turned this organization into a flat out joke. All of a sudden, Sophie Cunningham is hurt. All of a sudden, her elbow's messed up. Y'all smell that? Smells like BS. It smells like some punishment is being served out to Sophie Cunningham for going rogue.
Right now, you need to sit down and prepare yourself because the WNBA is experiencing what many are calling the most devastating and heartbreaking crisis in the league's history. Behind closed doors, far from the flashing cameras and roaring crowds, the Indiana Fever locker room has reportedly fallen completely apart. We are witnessing an emotional collapse on an unbelievable scale. And if league officials fail to address this situation immediately, some experts believe nearly 50% of the WNBA fan base could walk away for good. You may have thought this season was only about record-breaking performances and massive blowouts, but that assumption couldn't be further from the truth. This story is about loyalty, betrayal, and, above all, the ultimate sacrifice. Reports circulating online have sparked widespread attention by claiming that Coach Stephanie White allegedly handed a secret and devastating suspension to the heart of the Fever's defense, Sophie Cunningham. But before Coach White could reportedly put this growing controversy behind her, Caitlin Clark, the face of the league, allegedly stepped forward and delivered a shocking ultimatum that has the WNBA commissioner reportedly in full panic. Don't miss a single second of this video, buddy, because we're breaking down the emotions, the betrayal, and the moment Caitlin Clark allegedly looked her coach in the eye and declared, "If she goes, I go." Hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and let's uncover the full story together, truly understand how everything reached this dramatic turning point. You first have to recognize the deep and largely unspoken connection between Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. From the very beginning, it was clear to everyone that Clark would carry a huge target on her back. League veterans were viewed as jealous, opposing coaches were constantly planning their strategies, and the physical play against her on the court seemed relentless. Clark needed someone willing to stand beside her without hesitation. She needed a teammate who wasn't afraid to sacrifice their own body and career to help the franchise star succeed. That teammate was Sophie Cunningham. Every time someone delivered what was seen as a cheap shot toward Caitlin, Sophie was often the first to step in. She accepted the technical fouls, endured the hard contact, and faced hostility from opposing crowds, including the intense booing in Portland, without publicly complaining. Sophie embraced the role many viewed as the league's villain, so she could become the ultimate source of support and protection for her teammates.
This is ridiculous. Look at the first comment, Evelyn. You guys are a clown organization. Here it says, Sophie hurt her elbow writing this for Stephanie White, didn't she? This is what Sophie Cunningham had. I will not pass to Caitlin again. I will not pass to Caitlin Clark again. This is what they forced Sophie Cunningham to do. Okay, that's how she hurt her elbow. CDS Sports, go rogue, win game, end up on injury report. Beatings will continue until morale improves. This is ridiculous, guys. This is ridiculous. Everybody knows this is clearly punishment for Sophie Cunningham. Chloe Peterson was the first to report on it. She said, Sophie Cunningham is questionable with the right elbow injury for tomorrow's game. She participated in the portion of practice open to the media this morning. Okay. And everybody knows every comment is that this is punishment. Look here, Sophie being put in timeout for speaking what's on her mind.
However, that fierce sense of loyalty was allegedly creating serious tension within the coaching staff. Reports claimed that Coach Stephanie White believed Sophie Cunningham was acting on her own. Her relentless intensity, the technical fouls, and her unwavering protection of Caitlin Clark were supposedly viewed by the front office as an unnecessary distraction. The coaching staff wanted discipline and complete control, while Sophie remained focused on protecting her point guard above everything else. That growing emotional divide was said to have led to what many described as one of the darkest moments in Indiana Fever history. According to insiders, the atmosphere inside the Fever's practice facility on the morning of the reported suspension felt ice cold, with tension so heavy it seemed almost impossible to ignore. Emotional leaked accounts alleged that Coach White unexpectedly called Sophie Cunningham into the front office for a private closed-door meeting with no teammates present and no advance warning, leading to a painful and heartbreaking conversation. Insiders further claimed that Coach White told Sophie her actions were becoming harmful to the team's image. Despite allegations that Sophie had been the primary player protecting Clark from the league's physical play, she was reportedly instructed to pack her belongings as a secret indefinite suspension was allegedly issued. Reports also claimed the plan was to tell the media she was dealing with a personal matter in order to avoid backlash from fans. Just imagine the heartbreak, buddy. Imagine dedicating your entire career, reputation, and body to protecting the rookie sensation, only to be quietly pushed aside by your own coach. Witnesses reportedly said Sophie left the office with tears in her eyes, silently clearing out her locker before anyone else arrived. She chose not to create a scene or bring more pain to the team, accepting the punishment just as she had accepted every hard hit on the court, with quiet strength and remarkable bravery.
This organization is like the mafia. So everyone knows, it's clear as day that this is punishment for Sophie Cunningham. It's very, very, very obvious that this is punishment for Sophie Cunningham. The organization is a straight up clown show at this point. And then not only that, they have not addressed the smear campaign. They've gone out of their way to address any and everything else. They refuse to address the smear campaign led by Dan Dockich, who has been adamant about he's getting this information from the inside. Not only have they not addressed that, and he doubled down on it today. Dan Dockich was bombing again today. Stephanie White went on the same platform that took shots at Caitlin Clark and aired a hit piece. This is crazy. All of this is just flat out craziness. This Indiana Fever organization is a flat out joke. Sophie Cunningham is being punished for going rogue with Caitlin Clark, passing her the ball. You know they wanted that ball to go to Kelsey Mitchell. They didn't give a damn. That ball go to Kelsey Mitchell or come hell or high water. And that is what it is. Look.
What the coaching staff allegedly failed to recognize, however, was one undeniable and potentially fatal mistake. They completely underestimated the powerful bond between the team's enforcer and its biggest superstar. When Caitlin Clark reportedly arrived at the arena and noticed Sophie's locker sitting empty, the entire atmosphere was said to change in an instant. A locker room attendant allegedly revealed the truth about the reported secret suspension, and from that moment, Clark was described as overwhelmed with heartbreak and anger. This wasn't portrayed as simple frustration, but as an emotional breaking point. According to the reports, Clark believed the one teammate who had consistently stood by her side had been sacrificed to protect the team's public image. She reportedly didn't even stop to lace up her shoes, instead walking past her teammates, ignoring the assistant coaches, and heading directly toward Coach Stephanie White's office with a determination no one had witnessed before. Witnesses outside the hallway later claimed they heard an emotional confrontation as Clark allegedly defended Sophie with incredible passion, reportedly declaring, "She took the hits for me. Every single time they tried to end my season, she was there. You are not taking away my protector." The emotional intensity inside the room was described as overwhelming. Reports further alleged that Coach White attempted to explain the decision as an executive move intended to keep the team focused, but Clark reportedly refused to accept that explanation. Believing it was the ultimate betrayal, she allegedly recognized the influence she carried, leaned across the desk, looked her coach directly in the eyes, and delivered the ultimatum that quickly ignited widespread attention. "You bring her back right now, or I am walking out that door with her. If she goes, I go." According to these claims, the fallout from those words was immediate, with news of the alleged confrontation reaching the league office within minutes and reportedly sending the WNBA commissioner into a state of panic.
Ridiculous. Isn't it obvious? Isn't it obvious that Dan Dockich is not lying about the information he's getting from within this organization as they refuse to address it? Dan Dockich doubled down on everything he said right here in this. He took the X. Yo, G, damn it, hold on. Steph White is calling. Gotta go to work, keep hating, keep stalking. So he's taking shots at the people that have been addressing him, adding on to the smear campaign that's going on against Caitlin Clark. It's ridiculous, but the fact of the matter is you can't blame Dan Dockich. You can't blame him. He's not lying about where he's getting the information from, which is why the Indiana Fever is so hush and damn quiet about it. He not lying. None of them are going to come out and call him a liar. None of them have stepped up to the plate to address the smear campaign that's being launched at Caitlin Clark. She's being targeted. They're not saying anything because it's coming from them. They've gone on to address everything else, whether it's people coming at them for the draft. Lynn Dunn went and called us all complainers. Stephanie White addressing the fans saying, hey, these games are boring as hell now. These games are boring. The product stinks now. You've come over here and ruined the product. The games are entertaining. She addressed that in last game's pregame podium. They've addressed everything. The Indiana Fever's Twitter handle or X handle put a post up after last game saying, are you not entertained? They've been addressing everything publicly but this because they are in on it. Make no mistake about that. Make no mistake about that at all. And then Stephanie White, shout out to Mick Talks Hoops. He said,
now let's take a closer look at the reality of this situation, buddy. According to the narrative being shared, the league fully understands where much of its current momentum comes from. Sold-out arenas, record-breaking television ratings, and soaring merchandise sales are all widely associated with Caitlin Clark and the remarkable excitement surrounding the Indiana Fever. If Clark were to refuse to step onto the court in protest of Sophie Cunningham's alleged suspension, many believe the financial impact on the league could be enormous. Sports analysts and marketing experts have reportedly raised concerns, suggesting that if Clark were to walk away, a significant portion of the WNBA audience could choose to leave with her. Fans have also been flooding social media with messages supporting Sophie and backing Clark's reported ultimatum. According to these claims, the commissioner is allegedly frustrated that the situation was allowed to escalate this far. Reports further suggest emergency meetings are taking place, public relations teams are working around the clock, and the remainder of the season is facing growing uncertainty. Questions continue to surround whether coach Stephanie White will reportedly reverse the alleged suspension or whether Caitlin Clark would truly consider stepping away from a historic season in support of her teammate. Buddy, many are describing this as a full-scale crisis inside the Indiana Fever locker room. According to this account, the story has grown beyond basketball and become a discussion about loyalty, trust, and standing beside the people who sacrifice for their team. In a separate development, Cheryl Reeve was seen wearing a shirt in support of transgender kids that read, "Trans kids belong." This appearance came after Sophie Cunningham's recent comments, and viewers also saw Cheryl Reeve and Sophie speaking together at center court before the game. The previous day, Cheryl Reeve spent considerable time addressing the topic with members of the media, offering remarks that many described as thoughtful and easy to find online. Observers also noted that Sophie did not appear to back down during her interaction with Cheryl Reeve, with more updates on the situation expected to follow. During the game, Sophie Cunningham also took what appeared to be a hard elbow to the face, with contact landing directly on her jaw. According to the commentary, the officials either ruled the play against her or chose not to make the expected call, leaving many people questioning the decision and wondering why the whistle stayed silent. The Minnesota Lynx went on to defeat the Indiana Fever 108-100, and the result highlighted several areas where the Fever struggled. The team's bench depth appeared limited. There wasn't enough size or length in key moments, and those concerns had reportedly been discussed throughout free agency and again during the draft. Critics also pointed to the decision to draft Raven Johnson instead of adding another big player, along with moving on from Justine Pissett, arguing those choices affected the roster. Even so, many believe the Fever still had opportunities to stay competitive in the game, especially when comparing both teams' starting lineups and overall experience. Now it's your turn to weigh in because the internet remains completely divided on this situation. Do you believe Caitlin Clark would be justified in risking her entire season to stand beside Sophie Cunningham? Or do you think Coach Stephanie White would have been right to make the reported decision? Share your honest thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you support loyalty, passion, Pass this video along to every basketball fan you know, and subscribe for the latest updates on this developing locker room story.